This is Coniglio al forno, or oven-roasted rabbit, and it's one of the most expensive Italian foods you'll find in all of New York City, coming in at over $120. Today, I'm on a mission to find out if spending more money on Italian food actually means getting better Italian food. We're gonna be experiencing the most expensive ravioli you're making here in this shop. What is it that makes the ravioli so expensive? And by the end of this video, you'll see one of the most unique, most expensive Italian foods in all of New York City. They turned the rabbit's entire body into a rabbit sausage, essentially. But first, something much more affordable, coming in at about $7. I'm looking at it now. It's like the size of a softball. It's not pizza. It's not pasta. This food, it's like a cannonball of carbs. It's arancini.
Yeah, they're 1 pound a piece.
It's 1 pound.
Yeah.
Chef Joe is the man behind both the dish and the restaurant. He's Italian, and he's been cooking since age 16. In this video, we're trying Italian food that's very affordable, very mid-priced, and very expensive. And right now, we're starting with the most affordable dish of the day. Before we get into the food, I want to ask you, what do you think makes good Italian food?
Good food takes time to prepare. If you want to call me in the morning and I got to slap something together for you, I don't want to do it. You got to have heart, you got to have gloves.
Do you think Italian food requires a little more heart than other types of food? And then which foods require the least heart? That's kind of what I want to figure out.
I can't even remember. The hamburgers and hot dogs?
Like the guy doing the hot dog stand, not that much heart. Chef Joe took over Mezzaluna Pizza 18 months ago, creating a new chapter in this 50-year-old pizza shop's story.
There used to be a small little pizzeria. I expanded the kitchen to do more food. We built up a catering business from zero to a couple $1,000 a week, and the regular customers are always here.
So we're here today for something called an arancini.
Yes. Arancini is a rice ball, and it's basically rice with ragu inside. Ragu is slow-cooked ground beef.
And all this is mashed together into a giant ball and then fried.
Yeah.
To make this righteous rice ball, we start with rice. Oil and onion come together in a pan, followed by tomato paste, creating a vibrant base for the rice. A secret seasoning adds flavor as we stir continuously until the rice is cooked. Arancini sounds like home to Italians, but it's still a stranger to most New Yorkers. Why do you think the arancini isn't more popular?
Probably the labor. It's a lot of work.
But making a pizza seems like a lot of work too. I mean, you have to really have some skill with the dough. You know, have to know how to spin it.
But a pizza, you put it in the oven, the other guy takes it out. This is a more complicated process. You got to constantly stir it. You got to mix it. You got to stay in there. You can't just walk away from it.
Once cooked, the rice is blended with green peas and cheese. Arancini was born 11 centuries ago in southern Italy, where it began as a clever way to reuse leftover risotto.
It was brought over by the Arabs, and they brought over rice into Sicily, and from there it assimilated into the fabric of the people, because it's a poor man's food, and the south is a very poor region back then.
The rice is shaped into a ball and stuffed with beef ragu. The ball is then coated in breadcrumbs and dropped into a pool of boiling oil. All that's left to do is wait for it to turn golden brown. Danielle, put her there. Today I'm with Danielle, founder of Arthur Avenue Food Tours. You are a professional Italian.
Yes, I am.
For a living, you just be Italian and tell people about Italian stuff.
I do.
Born in America with Italian roots, she uses her tours to highlight authentic local flavors and broaden people's perception of Italian-American cuisine. I want to see today, if I spend more money on Italian food, does that mean better Italian food? And right now we're starting with the most affordable dish of the day. This is intimidating. It's big, it's heavy, it's greasy. I'm not going to even get to the ragu in my first bite.
What do you think?
It's nicer than I expected. I expected it to be very heavy, and it is.
It is.
Do you think I was going to say the opposite? No, it's very heavy. It's a giant, heavy carb bomb. There's some cheese within the rice even. The little peas inside offer a difference in texture. I can feel like... Love, love, love Italian culture. Look, we're in Little Italy. I'm assuming everything that happens, it's Italian people. Going back to the arancini, I think what you really want to get to is that center there with that beef and the cheese. That is probably the most satisfying part.
Center is definitely the best part.
Right, and it's kind of your reward. It's like, listen, if you can get through all this giant structure of rice, then you get the reward in the middle.
I don't think you should think of it as a side dish. This is a commitment. This is the meal. And often people have it for breakfast in Sicily.
That makes sense because it's big, it's bold. This will get you through a job where you're doing heavy labor for the next 12 hours. While arancini may be the underdog at Mezzaluna Pizza,
go off on the deep end.
Our next destination built its entire reputation on one type of Italian food, and they've been perfecting it for 80 years. Yet that legacy is just a slice of the deep history you'll find on Arthur Avenue.
This is Little Italy, but it's one of many Little Italies?
Yes.
I didn't know this was allowed. I thought per city there could be like one Chinatown, one Little Italy, one tiny Mumbai, one micro Tokyo. What's up with all the Little Italies? How does this work, and then how do you distinguish them?
The most famous Little Italy is the one on Mulberry Street, Manhattan. And it was not the biggest. The biggest one was actually East Harlem, which we know today is Spanish Harlem.
So why are we not at that one?
Well, I like to say the real Little Italy is in the Bronx. This neighborhood is this incredible anomaly. There are all of these businesses that have been here for over 100 years, still run by the same families. What you have here are all of these people that have been making these different foods for generations, and they have a distinct knowledge of them. You're gonna find really high quality products at a really fantastic price as well, because so many of these mortgages have been paid off since 1935.
Bronx's Little Italy is a community shaped by the wave of Italian immigrants who arrived in New York in the 1900s. Most came as unskilled workers, chasing the American dream. Among them were the Borgattis. Lying just a short walk away from our first meal, Borgatti's Ravioli and Egg Noodles is one of the best shops for ravioli in the country. So good that people from Alaska and Hawaii place orders for delivery.
Today we've come to your shop because we want to learn more about the ravioli you're making here. But first I want to know, what is ravioli?
Ravioli is a Italian pasta dish which consists of an egg dough with a filling in it stuffed in there like a pocket. A lot of times those are even used in broth or with the sauce.
Christopher Borgatti is the third generation owner of this 80-year-old shop.
I'm looking around your shop. I don't see any ravioli in a can. I'm not exactly Italian, but that's the ravioli I grew up on.
And a lot of kids who went to camp.
Sure.
Of course, we make it fresh here, and we've been doing that since 1935.
The Borgatti ravioli recipe starts with wheat flour, eggs, and water mixed into a dough. This recipe was passed down by Chris's grandparents.
My grandmother was from Bologna and my grandfather was from Madonia. They actually came to the United States in 1907. In 1935, when my grandparents opened the store, they were selling 100 little ravioli for $1.
That's a good deal.
Oh yeah, back then, yeah.
Once the dough reaches the desired smoothness and elasticity, it moves into the ravioli machine, ready to be united with the filling.
We started out just making a ricotta-filled ravioli and a meat-filled ravioli, and it's just exploded into different types of fillings. Just recently, we're, I think, in our second year of making lobster ravioli.
At $38 a box, in this shop, lobster ravioli is the priciest dish on the menu. And that's exactly what I'm after. The filling is a blend of ricotta, lobster meat, eggs, seasonings, and Parmesan.
What is it that makes the lobster ravioli so expensive?
The cost of lobster varies throughout the season, so we just try to find a base level price. You don't want to overprice your product, but we don't want to cut back on our quality here, so we kind of stick to our guns and just hope for the best.
So you don't just write market price next to it?
Yeah, right? It doesn't have a changing board either.
That would be nice.
Once well blended, the lobster filling is fed into the ravioli machine, where the dough is already waiting.
While they're making the ravioli, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. When I started this channel, it was me, a camera guy, and basically an unlimited supply of noodles in Asia. Fast forward to now, and we're filming across continents. And banks just aren't built for that. They're slow, expensive, and complicated. That's why I like Airwallex, the all-in-one financial platform for businesses that think beyond borders. With Airwallex, you can open global accounts with local bank details in minutes, hold multiple currencies in one wallet, and convert at rates that don't make us scream into our phones. Paying our crew in Vietnam? Done. Booking a production here in New York City? Easy. Track spending in real time and streamline expenses. Plus, all the boring finance work like reconciling and paperwork gets automated, so we can focus on what we actually love, eating the world's best lobster ravioli. If you're building something, whether you're a creator or a big company, and you're ready to grow beyond your borders, check out Airwallex. You can get started for free with the link below. Airwallex. Grow without borders. Now, let's get back to that ravioli.
Each spin presses rows of plump ravioli, each one a pillow of dough cradling the lobster inside.
What do you think it is that draws people to ravioli? For me, it's because I like a little surprise inside my noodle. Sorry, I just said noodle, I meant pasta. I've been in Asia too long, I'm so sorry.
Ravioli was born in northern Italy more than 500 years ago and has since taken on countless shapes and flavors across the country. Making ravioli together is a cherished family ritual, especially during Christmas.
So yes, there's a surprise to it. Unlike flat pasta cuts, it's just basically the pasta, where this has a filling, and that's the extra treat to that type of dish.
Borgatti's has no dining room because it's not a restaurant. Their products usually leave the store uncooked in boxes. But today, Chris will make an exception, serving me lobster ravioli with garlic sauce on the spot.
You know, we're doing different themes in this series, Italian food, Chinese food. So, you know, for the Chinese food, we got a Chinese guy. But what about you?
Yeah, I think you got the wrong guy. I am Chinese.
This is Andrew, but most people know him as Babish, the guy who became a YouTube legend by recreating dishes from movies and TV shows. Beyond YouTube, he's also the author of 3 cookbooks.
I've always been told that I'm half Italian. Turns out that wasn't true, so I got my DNA tested. I'm like 11% Italian, but I've always identified as an Italian.
That's important. Right here we have ravioli. It looks gorgeous. I don't believe I've ever had homemade ravioli. I'm excited.
I've made ravioli and it's never looked like this.
First, the plump pasta pockets are boiled in salted water until tender.
In your mind, what makes a good ravioli?
I love really chewy al dente pasta. A lot of filling, not a big air bubble, no blowouts, and as thin a border around the outside as humanly possible, and that's something they've definitely pulled off here. There's not even a centimeter of raw dough holding this whole thing together.
Right.
Next, the sauce. Chris starts by heating olive oil and butter, then adds minced garlic. Next comes half a cup of dry white wine, a cup of heavy cream, and a bit of grated cheese. When the cheese melts into a silky sauce, he stirs in a splash of lemon juice and a couple spoonfuls of fresh Italian parsley. Finally, crushed red pepper, salt, and black pepper.
I'm gonna cut it just right in half. Immediately, I can see the top of the shell popping up. You can see the fillings inside.
Oh my Lord.
It makes me feel like celebrating. Upon putting it in my mouth, I'm getting a huge hit of garlic. And then it's just that rich blend inside of there, contrasted with some sharp, sour lemon.
There's a lot of lemon juice going on here. And to me, that's like you're eating a lobster dinner in a bite because you're getting all the elements. You're getting butter, you're getting acid from the lemon, you're getting herbs, and you're getting pasta. This is like the whole thing distilled into a single bite.
The ravioli shell, amazing texture. You know, the first time I went to Italy, I couldn't believe the difference of eating something that was freshly made, that hadn't been dried out and rehydrated. It's hard to describe the texture. It's almost like a little doughy. It's not like falling apart soft. Meanwhile, anywhere you go in the USA, basically all the noodles will have been dried already, then rehydrated, and it's just not the same experience.
Not only does this taste elevated, this is almost the best of both worlds because you've got 4 generations of people who have mastered the art of pasta making. They're taking a very simple food and they have reached dizzying heights with how good it is. And then on the fancy, expensive side of things, they filled it with lobster. So this is a perfect midway point for this episode because you're really getting the best of both.
Whether it's humble ravioli or the $126 masterpiece I'm about to try, New York embraces Italian food in every form. And that's because this city is the biggest Italian hub in America.
Italians is the greatest contributor to New York culture that there is. New York City is all about pizza. That accent, that comes off as a New York accent, but here it's like an Italian-American accent. And it's no wonder that it has become a cornerstone of this city because there's a huge Italian populace here and it's stayed here. Italians are a very determined and bullish and protective people of each other, of themselves, of their businesses. They've made this place home and there's no getting them out of their home. Not that we would want to.
Next, we're leaving Arthur Avenue's Old World charm and heading to Manhattan. Waiting for us at Santi Restaurant is a $126 Italian marvel prepared by Chef White, a man with 37 years of cooking experience and 6 Michelin stars to his name.
You are not Italian.
I am from Wisconsin and I'm Norwegian.
So what drove you to Italian fine dining?
When I graduated from college, I decided that I was going to be a chef. I went to Spiaggia, which was the first real high-end Italian restaurant in the United States in 1985. So I was really on the infancy stages of Italian cooking. And I went to Italy in 1993 and I got my PhD in Italian cooking. And on days off, I would be going to different restaurants and butchers and learning how to make pasta. And for a kid from Wisconsin, being able to have access to all those types of things, I wasn't coming back, okay? That was a done deal. And Santi is very much a culmination of those 37 years of cooking.
I want to talk about the dish that we're going to be trying today. It's called coniglio al forno. Wow. That took 3 hours of practice. So what it means is oven-baked rabbit.
Exactly.
Cornelio al Forno begins with the painstaking task of deboning a rabbit.
The rabbit itself, coming from Pennsylvania. These are rabbits that get to run freely. They eat really, really good food, lots of beta carotene, lots of good veggies.
I just didn't know Pennsylvania was known for rabbits.
So these are premium ingredients. A lot of times the rabbits you get in the store are roasters, so they're 5 pounds and up, so they're gonna be tough. Much more for braising, where this is for roasting and slicing, can be very, very
So it's a
juicy and
smaller,
tender.
it's a younger rabbit.
It's a younger rabbit.
You know, anytime there's a little bit of like innocence in the meal, usually the price tag goes up.
You're paying for the innocence.
Yes, the sparkle in the eye, that costs extra.
The rabbit's legs are turned into a sausage filling,
And this rabbit sausage is seasoned with salt and pepper.
with the deboned rabbit itself serving as the sausage casing.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna season with salt and pepper to make sure we get an even seasoning and a little bit of black pepper. So we're gonna lay some Swiss chard down the middle, and this is a barrier actually for the sausage. So we're gonna wrap the Swiss chard up above the sausage a bit just to protect that. And now we're going to wrap it and bring the bellies together.
Rabbits arrived in Italy as early as the 3rd century, and they quickly won a regular place at the dinner table for their lean, nourishing meat.
So what we're doing is we're tying this not too snug. We don't want the rabbit to unravel when we're cooking it in the oven. But if you tied it too tight, it would burst, if you will. We're gonna trim these, and we're gonna go over to the roasting pan, and we're gonna sear this on all sides, and then we're gonna roast it in the oven.
Cornelio al Forno isn't a single recipe. It refers to countless baked rabbit recipes across Italy, each with its own regional twist.
So we're gonna lightly sear it on all sides because it's gonna get roast inside the oven, and therefore we don't wanna put too much color on it at the outset. So it's on a low heat, and we're gonna start basting this with a little bit of butter.
Chef White draws inspiration for this particular recipe from Tuscany. This is his reinterpretation of porchetta, the classic preparation of deboned pork rolled with herbs and slow roasted.
Now we wait.
While the oven works, the rabbit's liver and kidneys are sautéed with butter and rosemary, then minced and mixed with parsley, olive oil, and vinegar, transforming it all into a dressing.
We have the rabbit out of the oven. So we like to trim just the end off, the first little bit of it, clean it up a little bit. It's been resting now for about 15 minutes. You definitely want to let it rest a little bit so all the juices get assimilated back into the center. So now we're gonna go straight to the plate. We're gonna serve this with some baby pea shoots and the vinaigrette that we have made using the livers. So this is the rabbit for two at Santi.
Only in New York can you find Broadway.
When you look at this dish, does it make you feel feelings?
It looks and it smells delicious. You can see the crispy skin on the outside. You can tell that it was beautifully made. Something like this is not that easy to actually implement, so I'm excited.
Before we try this, is this ravioli?
These are called cappellacci. Cappellacci means like an old hat, like a big floppy hat. So the idea is it looks like an old floppy peasant's hat, but it's stuffed with a rich rabbit ragu.
Ooh, rabbit ragu. But this is my second ragu of the day. Should we give it a shot?
I can't wait.
Oh my God, that is delicious. First of all, just the texture of the pasta, outstanding. This was handmade, never dried.
Absolutely, yeah, this is fresh pasta.
Then when you get to the inside, it's kind of this rabbity puree almost. I don't know, you can feel some meat fibers, but it's very pasty.
It's the Parmigiano Reggiano that's mixed in there. Chef White trained in Emilia Romagna, and certainly the filling tastes like something that a true Emilian grandmother would make, but also it's like a really upscale version of it.
So this is our first video in this series in New York City, and we're exploring all these different cultural foods. One thing I've learned is when food comes here to New York City, even if it comes from a different country, sometimes it can change, transform, and become something new and something uniquely different from the place it came from. Do you think Italian food in New York City has its own identity?
I would say the New York Italian is going to be more derivative of Southern Italian food. I think when you come to New York, of course, having a slice of pizza is a quintessentially New York experience. Huge influx of Neapolitan immigrants is why we've got amazing pizza. Even like the New York accent, the forget about it, it kind of comes from a Neapolitan, a Southern Italian accent.
So a lot of the immigration came from the South, and so that's what dictated the types of food that are popular here now.
Absolutely.
So that is the chapati.
Cappellacci.
So that is the cappellacci. And then we edit it and people think I'm smart.
There you go.
Wow, you picked up on that word real fast. He didn't say chapati at all. From here we move on to the rabbit. So this, I guess, is the ground up portion here, which makes up most of the volume. And then the meat, like the rabbit's torso or body, is wrapped around it.
I'm gonna have a bite that has all components, skin, saddle, and stuffing.
100%.
It's delicious, yeah.
The texture, it's interesting because I would think one of the biggest challenges in cooking a rabbit would be whether it's dry or not, because they have a pretty low fat content. But this is pretty succulent. Oftentimes when people are working with leaner meats, they'll put in a little bit of pork in there to get it juicy and like get those animal fats going. But here it's just 100% rabbit, so I'm very impressed with the texture of it and how not dry it is.
It's really good.
What's interesting about this dish, from my research, is that it said it's kind of a countryside traditional food. Meanwhile, we're eating it at an upscale restaurant. So is this the authentic preparation of this dish, or would this be more of a premium, high-end, fine dining take on this dish?
Well, both. Most Italian food is peasant food, and rabbit is going to be really cheap, abundant meat. Every region of Italy, especially in the countrysides or in mountainous regions, you have some sort of a rabbit dish. This is the saddle of the rabbit, which is considered the most tender part, so this is a more elegant preparation, but like still not out of the realm of something that grandma might make for a Sunday dinner.
There's also two very distinct components that work together. The kind of ground meat on the inside, heavily seasoned, very herbaceous. That is like this flavor nucleus inside. Then on the outside, the saddle has a lot more fat. It has a little bit of a snap to it, like the outside of a sausage. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Part of my mission for this video is seeing if spending more money on Italian food equals better Italian food. And we started with a $7 1-pound ball of fried rice. Then me and Andrew went to a ravioli location, and now you're back. And we have this right here in front of us. What do you think?
I think that's a complex question. Not always, but certainly when you come to a restaurant with a chef like this, you know it's going to be amazing even if it's really expensive.
In this New York food series, we're also taking on cheap versus expensive Chinese food, soul food, Puerto Rican food, and Jewish food too. What I've learned is that more money doesn't always mean better flavor.
Today we're going to be seeing if putting more money into Chinese food gets you better Chinese food.
I think that's not the case.
But when it comes to the Italian food I tried today, each cent went into better ingredients, more masterful technique, and a more delicious final product.
In this video, I tried 3 different levels of Italian food. Very affordable, very mid-price, and very expensive. But I could only choose one that gave me the most bang for my buck, and that one is location 2, the ravioli. For me, that ravioli just hit different. It tastes like it was made by my Italian grandmother. And I don't even have an Italian grandmother, or any grandmother, they all died. But that is just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think downstairs in the comments down below. Which of the foods from this video do you wish you could try? That is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. Bye.